What's up, everybody? Joseph Aaron here, and
Eileen Wilder, what's up, team? Good to see you all.
what's up? Welcome, everybody, as you're coming in. So excited. In today's bonus revenue training, here's what we're going to do. We're going to show you guys in the bonus revenue section how to get lots of bonus revenue. Who's ready for some bonus revenue? Say, I am.
I am.
I'm ready for some bonus revenue. This is awesome. Eileen, so great to be hanging out with you on a Sunday evening.
Yes. Joe, listen, everybody, team, Joe and I got excited. We were like, we want to help them, like, get them started right away. And a lot of people were writing questions in saying, what's up, guys? Saying, hey, Eileen, Joe, what do I do if I don't know where to start? How do I get started if I have no clue what we're doing? And we're like, oh my gosh. So we just got like antsy to help you guys. We love training. We love speaking. Don't we, Joe? Why do we love speaking so much?
Because everything, you ready for this? Everything in the world was made with words.
Yeah.
Put it in the chat. Words. Everything was made with words. Can you believe it? Like everything that you experience, all the joy that you have, all of the different things that you experience in your world, the joy of technology, all of it is made with words. And if you don't know how to use your words, you don't get what you want. But if you do know how to use your words, you get what you want. So who's ready to get down with some words and get what you want? Say, I am. Word bomb. Hey. As a matter of fact, okay, forgive me, Eileen.
We're losing everyone who's not our vibe also as well at the same time.
Yes,
you can't handle this. You can't handle it. All right, go ahead.
That's for real. So my daughter, okay, Eileen, my daughter is studying. She's 16, and she's studying ancient Greek right now.
Oh my gosh.
And for those of you who don't know, like Eileen and I come from like a church background, in case you guys haven't picked up on it already. All right. Like my dad, and we'll share this tomorrow too, because people are always a little weirded out because we like preaching on like making money and changing the world and making an impact. Yeah. Eileen, you know, we preach, girl, right?
We love to preach. We love to preach.
How many of you guys saw Eileen Wilder at FHL tearing down the stage? Did you see it? Say, I did.
Oh,
I did. Right? Right? Natasha's already trying to steal my message. You better watch out, Natasha. Nobody's stealing my word, girl. You're doing good. You're doing good. I'm proud of you already. In the beginning, right? In the book of John, chapter 1, when it talks about when God made everything.
Wow.
John says when he made everything, it says in the beginning was, and we translate it the word. But the word in the Greek is actually logos or logos, we say. And logos means, are you guys ready? You know what the word is in Greek? The word for word is the thought or the plan as it existed in the mind of God.
Oh my gosh.
Okay? Y'all with me? It's Sunday night, so we're gonna add a little like deep spirituality into what we're teaching. If that's okay. Where's my organ? Yep. Like my dad was the only white minister among about 2,000 black ministers who were ordained in his church. Okay, so they brought him because he was the only white guy. So that's how I'm used to doing things. You guys gonna bring some energy on Sunday nights? Give me a big amen if you're ready to go deep and change some things in your life and in the lives of the people that you serve. Say preach. Say amen. Say, let's go, right? Yeah, Lisa's got it. The thought, the plan, the intention. Look, before God made the world that he made, he imagined it.
Ooh, this is.
We say he imagined it.
Imagined it.
And Eileen, I don't know like what your plans exactly are for tonight, but something that I think could absolutely change the atmosphere of people's lives. If they started changing their imagination about what was possible in their life would start to change.
Say it again, Joe.
In order to change anything, you must first change your imagination.
Yeah, so good.
Have you ever met anybody? Like a lot of times when I look out to the world, I look at a lot of businesses and people doing stuff in the world.
Right. I'm
just going to keep it 100. Okay. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be mean, but there are so many boring businesses out there. Don't tell them. Somebody say boring. Don't hurt their feelings. Okay. Somebody say boring. You guys know what I'm
Boring.
talking about? Everybody's talking about
Boring.
like little
Yeah.
boring things, trying to do the math on,
Yes.
what their ROI is going to be and all that. And you need the math. I'm not saying not to have the math, but the reality is, right? Too many people lack imagination.
Wow.
The reason why many people are not doing more is because they're not imagining doing more. Now, why don't we imagine it? And the reason we don't imagine it is because we don't know who we are and we don't know what we're capable of. And so we don't believe enough to even think the thought for fear of the frustration that we'll feel by thinking the thought and being incapable of achieving it.
So true.
But we came on a Sunday night to tell you that you are capable of more than you thought you were.
Oh, snap.
Can I say it again? You are capable of more than you thought you were.
So good.
I'm just going to go ahead and preach because I'm feeling it, because God told us in the first page of the first book that you were made in his image. That means you were made to create new worlds. Somebody say new worlds.
New world.
Great worlds. There are things that you haven't even imagined yet, that you haven't even conceived yet, that you are capable of creating. You just haven't started creating it yet because you haven't started imagining it yet. Is there anybody in the house who's ready to start imagining the world that they actually want?
Woo.
Somebody say I am.
Yeah, I am. I am. Drop an I am in the chat if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're watching. Are you ready? Man, I love how Stephen Covey says, Joe, that everything is an act of second creation, right? First occurs in the mind. And we're going to dive deep in this inside the challenge. But if we can perceive, right? Come on. So if you can perceive and conceive of 6 and 7 figure days, which is what we're going to be talking about. Like a lot of, it's funny, right, Joe? Like a lot of people are like, wow, I want to do 6 figures this year. And we're like, that's great. That's so great. And some people are like, oh, man, I want to do 7 figures. You're like, that's great. That's amazing. But did you know, this is so cool, if you could imagine with us that you could do 6 or 7 figures in one day, like cash collected in one day. Doesn't that kind of like break the limits a little bit on what people could you imagine that watching this? Could you just imagine? Like, I remember when I came home from our first 6-figure day, I told my husband, Harrison, who's Uber driving, and I was like, Harrison, we just did $108,000. And he was like, what? Like what? I was like, yeah, we can totally go out to dinner tonight. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have like other people serve us food and we're not going to clean up. It was like, we were like so excited. So Joe, back to you, but the power of imagining that this is possible. We've seen this happen in our clients. It's amazing. And we want each one of you, show them, Joe, each one of you to experience the feeling of doing 6 to 7 figures in one day. Joe, you're like floating.
This is an award. Jeez. This is an award, right? That we give to our clients who achieve a 6-figure day. Now, this reward actually is for I believe this was like a $490,000 day or something like that. But anyone who achieves more than 6 figures in a single day, we give to our clients this award. And we'll put it in the group or something like that. But there are so many clients right now that are achieving these 6-figure days. Yeah. Because it's more possible than you thought it was.
Talk about that, Joe, because why is right now, literally, like if you've been sleeping on virtual events, we're here to let you know that's okay. That's okay. Why is right now an amazing time to learn about this opportunity?
Wow.
Where do I begin?
There's so many reasons. Eileen, I haven't even told you this yet right now.
Okay.
So in March, of course, of 2020, when the whole world kind of shut down due to everything that's going on with COVID-19, et cetera, every single part of the events industry shut down. And you can't even imagine how much money actually travels through the events industry. Like, consider this, a huge part of the entire hotel industry on the planet is based on events, renting their space. Right. Okay.
100%.
So what happened is all of a sudden people who were going to events couldn't go to events, and they started attending the events virtually, right? On Zoom and other platforms and stuff like that. Well, what happened is the whole world became comfortable right? With attending longer time periods of events, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day events, all seated on their couch in their office or wherever they wanted to view the virtual event from. Eileen, a statistic just went across my desk the other day. I was searching on Google and I saw something. And so I did a little bit more research. They expect, because all these people come up to us, Eileen, and like, is virtual events dying now? Because there's live events and people can go live, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, okay, you don't really understand what happened, because right now, economists are predicting that the virtual event industry will be a $90 billion a year industry by 2025. 90 billion with a B. Okay.
2025. That's like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when they count those numbers, I think they're just counting ticket sales. I don't think they're counting, because a lot of people just do virtual events but don't sell on the back end, right? And so the number is like exponentially bigger than that.
Crazy town.
So here's the deal. Like, let me ask you guys a question. Let's say, how many of you already have something that you sell? Give me a big yes in the chat. Richard Trevino, I love you, man. Richard's in here. Hi, Richard. Hey, Chad, Barbara. What's up, David? I can see some of your names, but not others. I'm sorry. Some of them it just says Facebook user. Todd Billings is here. Barbara Henderson. So good to see you all.
Bunch of yeses coming in. Lots of yeses of people selling something already, Joe.
Okay, good. Now imagine this. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever done a sales call and it's like, maybe you have a product that's a bit more higher ticket, and it feels like sometimes a 1 hour sales call isn't sufficient to create the belief on the person on the other side to know that you can actually do what you're promising them? Eileen, you're one of the best closers in the world. You've experienced this, haven't you?
Yeah, 100%. Like sometimes, an hour is enough to overcome the majority of people's beliefs, but a lot of times it's not enough time to answer everyone's question or overcome everyone's limiting belief that they have had their whole life. You can't unbrainwash somebody sometimes in an hour.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the time sometimes that it takes to work through all of the various objections or false beliefs that people have about getting the result that you would help them get takes time.
Yeah.
Right? And so suddenly there was a time where everybody was worried about, oh my gosh, how long is my video? How long should I talk before everybody will shut me off? Now people have become accustomed to sitting and watching you live, not for an hour, not for 2 hours, not for 3 hours, but for 4 hours or a day or 2 days or 3 days, staying with you on Zoom live. And so what happens is a larger percentage of people than ever are willing to spend that amount of time.
Right.
And let me ask you this. Who, of all the people in the world who would sit and listen to you for 3 days, talk about, or 2 days, or 4 hours, or whatever it is, of all the people that would sit there and listen to that, let me ask you, are they the people more in need of the solution that you deliver, or just kind of like on the edges about the solution that you deliver, right? If they're willing to spend that much time with you, they must really, really, really want that result, right? And so now more than ever, your ability to speak and to communicate and to hold people's attention for prolonged periods of time is more powerful and valuable than ever. Because think about this. Would the person who spent an hour with you and thinks you might be able to solve their problem be willing to pay you more or less than, you ready? Here's the other side, a person who spent a half a day or 1 day or 2 days with you answering their questions? Which one of those people is willing to pay you more money to get the result? Tell me in the chat. Which one, right? The long event or the short event? Which one's going to create more trust? More trust in your abilities, more trust in your capabilities, more trust that you're not just some shyster out there trying to do whatever. I don't even know if that's a nice word or not, so I don't know. But nevertheless, forgive me. Right? So, Chad says more. Exactly. And so that's what we're working to help people do. And we're realizing that, for example, Eileen, when we helped my client do the first $1 million day, Dan Henry, it was like he did not believe that he was going to do $1 million in a day. But I knew his numbers. He had 164 people on. And I was like, Dan, we're going to close $1 million. And he's like, nah, I'd be happy if we just got one. Right. I told him, I tell people this story. He's cool with it. You know, he just didn't believe it would happen. And you may be in the same boat where you're like, this is crazy. Like, how could someone make 7 figures in a day or even 6 figures in a day? Like, that's total insanity. I must need to have 10 cajillion people on the live. No.
Wow.
No, Dan had 164 people on that live with him. And with that, with a 20% close rate, is 20% some super high, like crazy off the wall close rate? Or is that just like, seems doable, right? 20% close rate, a good offer, and 164 people equals $1 million day. Why? Because virtual events are alive and well. And over the next week, we're going to show you whether you have an offer right now or don't. Somebody was asking in the chat, Eileen, they were like, I don't have an offer. Can I tell you a secret? Oh, can I tell you a secret?
Yes. No.
When Dan and I did the $1 million day, do you know when we finished his offer? Take a guess. How long before we actually presented the offer do you think that the offer was done?
A panic attack when you tell them.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're trying to guess. Okay, I'm going to tell you. Like in the break before we made the pitch, that's when the offer was completed. Now, you can have your offer done way beforehand, and you know, like we're going to be talking about that this week and stuff like that. But some of you are like, well, you're telling yourself a story that's breaking the imagination in your spirit that's saying, well, I can't do this because I don't have an offer yet. When the reality is the best in the world are finishing their offer 5 minutes before they actually make the pitch. How many of you know you need to take action first and solve the problems later? Joey just said something good. How many of you know that the best in the world take action first? They commit to their goals first. They go all in on their goals first. They get on stage first, and they're still not done, but they're okay with it because they know that they know that they know they're going to get the job done. And if it's true for them, it's true for you. Is there anybody in the house ready to do some big days, make a big impact, and change your world? Say, I am. I am.
I am. I love it, Joe. I love it, Joe. I remember before my very first live event, which really wasn't that long ago, we were doing live events, Joe, before the world shut down, and I had 12 people in the room. Okay, but before I tell the story, I just have to clarify something that Joe just said, and hit the number for me, Joe. But if you had a super high ticket offer, let's say $30,000, how many sales do you need to do in order to hit $1 million? Is it
34?
34. So with 200 people in the room, just catch me. You know, we're in imagination level, so just dream big, everybody. Let's all pretend we had a magic wand and you had a $30,000 offer. Wouldn't that be great? I know you have to like sort of temporarily suspend your like whole past and any like disbelief that you may have. So let's just pretend, right? Because we're just dreaming, right? This is fun. Say you have a $30,000 offer. It's crazy cool. Like you do all this ninja stuff. You like maybe even do some stuff for the client. It's like so cool. Maybe some, I don't know, like done for you stuff in there. Only 34 sales. Only 34 sales, 34 people, 34 lives that you're changing, businesses that you're changing, legacies that you're building. 34 lives equals $1 million day. Now, Joe, how many people typically need to be in that room in order to do 34 sales?
Well, our metric for success, like it's like this is good enough, is 20%. So if 20% of the people buy. So like with Dan's, I think it was 164, and it was right around 20%. It might have been 22% or something, but I mean, call it 200, right? Yeah. And think about that, Eileen, because it doesn't have to be in a day, right? Like if it's 200, you could just do 20 a month. If you had 20 people
you're taking it to the
in your virtual event every month, it's like.
Yeah. So it's what we're trying to say is it's more possible if you can believe. And now sometimes you need to be helped along or like borrow our belief. If you talk, you can borrow somebody else's belief, Joe. So we talk about like, what are some of the fears? Because sometimes when people think about like speaking for a day or speaking for 4 hours or speaking for 2 days, they're like, wait, Joe, Eileen, are you asking me to talk for 2 days straight? Like, what would you say to somebody who's like, hasn't done this at all? And maybe like that would even inject fear into them.
Well, somebody's even asking here in the chat, they're like, what if you don't have a 30K product? And it's like, just an example, like many of our clients have 10K products, right? And it's like, you need 10 sales to make 100,000 in a day. And it's like,
yeah,
that's how you get a little award like this, right? Like, you don't need to do 1 million in a day. You may want to, and cool. Like that's what we're going to be working through this week. And the challenge is helping you figure these things out that are a part of the equation. But yeah, I think sometimes people are, I think the biggest one, Eileen, is either I'm afraid of, like, what do I say if it's a long event?
okay,
Might be a big one. And the other one is like, well, what would I sell? Right? Those are probably the two biggest ones.
yeah, 100%.
So what do you say to the people who are like, well, what would I say in that much time?
Well, it's so fun because two things. Number one, we sometimes have guest speakers come to our events. So there's like ways to like take a bunch of time. If you don't want to talk for 100 hours straight, like that's cool. No worries. Like you can have other speakers come. We love inviting guest speakers. That like crazy cool. A bunch of you can do group exercises. But really what happens, Joe, is when people start talking, and imagine everyone listening, like when you start talking about your ninja thing, doesn't time just go out like it just slips by, like, and you just know all this stuff and you're like, oh, then you could do this and then you could do this, and it feels like coffee with your best friend that you're just losing track of time because you're in the zone, you're in your passion, you're speaking out of purpose, changing people's lives. So what happens is like usually people are like, they say to us, oh, the events went so fast. It just went so quick because they were speaking in the area of their passion. So that's what most like the sensation of what it feels like. You just kind of get past the mind going, what am I going to say? Yeah. Joe?
Yeah. Eileen, so good, Eileen. I was reading some of the chats going on here to try and help them. Guys, have you ever had it where you were talking about something you were passionate about and time just kind of floated by, right? And there's a framework, right? There are frameworks that you can follow. We'll talk about some of that this week. There's frameworks that you can follow to know exactly what you're saying when, right? So it's super cool. They're all encouraging each other. They're like encouraging each other to raise their prices around and stuff like that. Somebody's asking, how do you pitch a $97 VIP product? Well, a wonderful question. And I'm so glad you asked because I think Eileen could demonstrate that for us right now.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Well, we have a VIP product. Okay. So if you're interested, I will share our offer with you right now. A lot of people pay Joe and I for one-on-one coaching. So we decided to we just think it's crazy fun to coach people. So we are giving 5 hours, an extra hour before the general session every day for the challenge. So like, I think the challenge starts something like 12 p.m. Eastern Standard, right? Right, Joe? Do I have that right? So for an hour before then, Joe and I are going to be in a room, but face-to-face with people, answering their questions one-on-one. Now, the crazy cool part about this is Joe and I sell a $55,000 VIP day where people will pay us $55,000. And that's about $15,000, I think a little bit less per hour. But you can get 5 hours of us answering your questions, us customizing advice, helping you with your offer, helping you raise your prices, raise your psychology. That alone is worth that. And you get all of VIP for $97. So that's pretty cool. And I think you can go to acceleratemyrevenue.com/VIP if you are already a general ticket holder and want to upgrade to VIP. So super cool. Now, one thing that people need to understand is one of the things that they get when they get VIP is they also get access to all these case studies that we did with entrepreneurs doing multiple, not just one 7-figure day, multiple 7-figure days. And a handful of entrepreneurs, I think it's maybe 4 or 5, they talk to you about how they fill their event, how they come up with their offer, how they close the room. These are things that are literally an 8-figure skill set that they're showing us all how to do. So super cool. So you're going to get all the case studies if you upgrade to VIP. If not, if you just want to join us in general, totally cool too. But if you want to, you can take a look at that offer, model it for your own VIP offers. But it's going to be crazy town, Joe. Like one of the people who joined us in VIP went on to make $600,000. Okay. Right after joining I know that sounds crazy. Even when I say that out loud, I don't even believe myself. But it was crazy. He teaches barbers how to make barber shops, I think. And he went on and took what he learned in VIP, launched his virtual event. he didn't even sign up for like our higher level stuff or anything like that. He just took the training. So what you're going to get inside of the challenge and inside VIP has the power for you to execute right away. I love this about our stuff is like, we just want to like give you the goods, like give you the tactics, like go. I'm just like, go, right? I said this at FHL, but 2/3 of God's name is go.
Yes.
2/3 of it is go. Like the whole, like he had 3 letters and he like picked 2 of them. And what I want you to do is like, go faster than you've ever thought possible before. Change your life almost overnight and join us inside the challenge and inside VIP. Joe?
One of the biggest secrets of my life that's had the, like, if not the, it's very close to the most profound impact. Quickly. Everybody say quickly.
Quickly.
Who wants, some of you are scared to say it quickly. Some of you are scared of fast results. I just saw somebody asking the question, what does fulfillment look like when you do 7 figures in a day? Right. Did you know you get to structure your offer? So good, more on that, okay? No worries. But obviously, like, you don't want to set your business up to be worried about making a lot of money at once. You want to set your business up so that you can fulfill and provide great results if and when you do big things in a big day, okay?
Good, so good.
Now, but one of the biggest secrets, and it's not a secret, right? It's just people don't do it. It's not a secret. Right. Everybody knows that it's true. Anybody, let's say it this way, anybody who's had children knows that this is true. One of the biggest secrets to your success will be the rooms that you get into.
Oh, snap. Oh, Joe, preach about it.
Because the people that, look, you don't even let your teenager hang out with the drug addict at school, do you? It's like, well, Mom, Dad, I ain't doing drugs. They're doing drugs. And you're like, I don't care who's doing drugs. You ain't hanging out with him or her, right? Why? Wow. Why? Because you know intuitively that the people you hang out with are the people you'll be like. Eileen, look, my son asked me one. I'm going to preach just for a second. Somebody help me right now. Can I get deep? Can I have your permission to get deep for a second? Let's just get beyond this little cursory stuff that we do sometimes because it's a business meeting, right? We're real people with real issues who are trying to tackle real demons and real problems in our life. And we're going to have to do some real stuff to win the war that we're fighting, okay? And so my son came to me one day, and you know what he said to me, Eileen? He said this. He said, Daddy, now he was like 6 or 7 years old. He said, Daddy, he said, how come we have 2 eyes, but we can't see ourselves? And I said, you're going to have to run that by me again, son. Say that again. He said, Daddy, how come we have 2 eyes, but we can't see ourselves?
Wow. And
he's so right. That little nerdy boy, he was so smart. I don't know how he thought of that. But the reality is we never see us. I never see me. I only see myself in reflection. I have to look into a mirror. And when I look into the mirror, because the speed of light only travels so fast, I'm always actually seeing myself in my past. Wow. And so we have 2 eyes and we cannot see ourselves. Yeah, I can look at my hand. I can look, but I can't look into my own eyes. I can't see myself.
So good, Joe.
Why am I saying this? Why am I talking about this? Because the way we determine if we're actually adding value to the world is how the people around us respond to what we do.
Wow.
This is why you care who your teenager hangs out with. Because if they're hanging out with a bunch of druggies, the druggies are going to laugh when they're past the joint and they're all passing it around and the one coughs and they're like, ha, 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 ha. Wow. And finally someone accepted them and they think, I need to do more of that because the world finds value in what I'm doing.
Wow.
The room you get into matters. The room that you get into will push you. The room you determine to get into will decide how much value you're going to produce in the world. Because when you walk into a room with real players, they won't be impressed by your little goals. They'll only be impressed by your big goals. When you get into a room with players, they won't be impressed with like simple execution things. They'll be impressed when you're getting big results. And so the big secret of life is getting into the rooms with the people where the Bible says iron will sharpen iron, right? Get into the rooms with people who are doing things bigger than you, that are harder than you, that stretch you, that push you to your potential so you can be everything you're called to be. And so if you're wondering, should I join VIP? I have one answer for you. Get in the room. Get in the room with the players. Get in the room with the world changers. Get in the room. You think, oh, I don't want to spend $97. I have paid hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get in the room with the best people. And now I'm partnering in businesses with them. Now I'm doing deals with them. Now we're sharing audiences together. So if you're ready to go to the next level, there's just one secret you need to know. Get in the room. Somebody say it. Get in the room. And to do that, all you got to do is go to acceleраtemyrevenue.com/VIP.
Okay. And that wasn't even
how you pitch.
That's how you pitch.
Somebody, there you go. That's how you pitch. Somebody was asking, how do you pitch? You see what Eileen and I just did?
So good. So good. Now, and listen, we don't need your money and we don't need you to be in VIP, but you really need to get your questions answered. Like it's 100%. There's so many high ticket buyers out there and so much money for everybody to be making. They should be filling up their crypto bank accounts and their like index funds. There is no, we all need to be moving faster. And the way to do it, the shortcut really is to be in the right room, right, Joe?
So true. So good. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you don't truly see yourself. You need some people to speak into your lives and to tell you who you are. And that's what we want to do when we get together. Now, VIP, somebody was asking, VIP is at 11 a.m. Eastern time. We meet an hour before. And then general session at 12 o'clock will be at noon. But there's no face to camera direct to us. It's going to be inside of the Facebook group, probably where most of you are right now. That's where it's going to start. So
it's going to be so much fun. VIP and general, it's going to be so much fun. Like come ready with your notebooks, come ready with your pens. Joe and I have fun when we're teaching. So the whole thing, Joe, will you talk for a second about how important it is, like the state that people come prepared to come to in tomorrow?
Yeah. How many of you want a breakthrough? Anybody know what I mean by a breakthrough?
Yeah.
Only people who've been through some stuff know what it means when you say breakthrough. People who've just had the nice cush life, they don't, that breakthrough, I'm not really exactly sure what they've never been stuck in something that they had to break out of. Okay.
That's good.
And so for those of you who are interested in a breakthrough, study the people who've had tremendous breakthroughs. Look at what they say. And one of the people that I really look up to, and many of you have probably heard him speak or whatever, but we were in close proximity to him a few weeks ago at Funnel Hacking Live. He actually took Eileen's purse and was rummaging through. You think, who is this guy rummaging through Eileen's purse? His name is Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eileen.
No, I was nervous that he was going to hurt the purse, actually. I was more nervous about the purse. I was like, oh.
He's so big, right? He could just like tear it in shreds.
Oh, I paid a lot of money for that. Okay.
Yeah, it was totally awesome. But he said, he talked about, he's worked with the highest level people on the planet. He's worked with presidents, elite athletes, just leaders of industry in every category. And he said that there's really 3 keys to a breakthrough. You guys interested in hearing them? Or it's up to you.
So
okay. All right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Give me a big yes if you're interested. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So here's the 3 keys to a breakthrough. He said, key number 1, and these are in reverse order of importance. So we're going to start with the least important.
Okay.
Tony Robbins says, if you want a breakthrough in your life, there's 3 keys to a breakthrough. Here's the least important. Least important key number 1 is strategy. Strategy.
Wow.
That's what most of us think of first.
We think we need strategy. Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm missing the strategy.
That's the key. If I just had the right strategy, right, I'd have everything I need.
Yep.
And so we run around Facebook looking for different strategies and this strategy and that strategy. And if I could just get this strategy, blah, 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 blah. Now, there's pros and cons to every strategy. There's good things, bad things, ugly things, all that kind of stuff with every single strategy. But it's like when all we focus on is the strategy, I did that. You'll hear my story tomorrow. I did that for years and kept like circling through all the different strategies when strategy wasn't really the problem. Any one of the strategies that I would have done would have changed had I understood the next 2 keys. The second key to your breakthrough is what we call story. And And I'm going to quote Tony Robbins here. Here's what he said. Tony said, the only thing keeping you from what you want is the story you tell yourself about why you don't have it.
Wow, that's awesome. The only thing keeping you from what you want, Joe,
is the story you tell yourself about why you don't have it.
Oh, man, that's awesome. That's so good.
Change your story, change your life. What are some stories you all been telling yourself before you entered this challenge? And we're going to be iron that sharpens iron. You know, a good coach will irritate you sometimes. So I'm going to do my best to push you to success like a good coach will. Okay. But what are some stories you've been telling yourself about why you can't do 6 figures in a day? Well, I don't have the money. I don't know what to offer. I don't know what to sell. I don't know this. I don't have this. All these explanations about these external things that are stopping you from the reality that you really want to create. Is it really the story? Is it really the things or the lack thereof that are keeping you from it? Is it? Is it? I'm not going to answer that. We'll leave that for later. Is it? It's the story we tell ourselves. That's the second thing. And can I just, Tony, let me just give you one more quote Tony said about the story. He said, divorce the story of your limited life and embrace the truth of your unlimited capacity.
Good.
Divorce the story of your limited life and embrace the truth of your unlimited capacity. Wow. A belief is a poor substitute for an experience. And we have helped too many people do 6-figure days for you to keep telling yourself the lie that you can't do it. Your belief is a poor substitute for our experience. Somebody say amen.
Amen.
That's number 2. The third thing, and the most important thing that you can do, and we're going to end on this, Eileen, I think. The third and most important thing that you can do, the most important key to you having the breakthrough and going to the next level in your life is what Tony calls state. Everybody say state.
State.
If you change your state, you can change your story.
I love this.
Okay? Let me tell a story real quickly from the other day, Eileen. I went to this conference that I was invited to. And I don't know, I think there were 1,000 people there or something like that. And I went to this conference and one of our clients was there. And he introduced us to someone. And I was kind of like, I just was unsure of the conference. Like I felt a little out of place, you know, and that kind of thing. And he introduced me to this guy and I had no idea who this person was, right? And so it's easy, right, to come to another meeting, another conversation, another challenge, another webinar, another training in the same level of state that you came to everything else in your life with. As a matter of fact, we tend to have a medium, like an average state that we play at.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Thankfully, for whatever reason, my state was higher this time because I met a guy by the name of Peter Lowe. He looked like a very nice gentleman. He's probably 70-something years old. He seemed very nice, said nice things and stuff like that. Come to find out, Peter Lowe regularly has 400,000 people a year attend his events.
Wow. That's awesome. Close that. That's great.
And we were talking and connecting and having all this fun conversation and laughing. And he prayed over my kids and all this cool stuff happened. Why? Why? I could have came to it like with what's the strategy I'm going to approach for this guy? Or I could have come to it with the thing like with the story, like, oh, this is just some older guy who they're introduced. Nice to meet you, dude. Like whatever. Right? But instead, we came with a state. State of expectation, a state of high energy, a state of anticipation for what could happen from the relationship that we're meeting with. And because of that, we met someone who will probably do, I would imagine, you know, he gave us his phone number and we're going to connect and stuff like that. I imagine we'll do millions of dollars in business with this guy. Why? Because of my strategy? No. Because of my story? No. Because of my state. I came with anticipation. Somebody say anticipation.
Anticipation.
And I know it's a hard one to type in the chat, but type it anyway. Anticipation, right?
Anticipation.
I came to invite someone to anticipate great things in the next week.
Ooh, I love that.
We came today with a bonus to tell you if you'll change your state, before you even get to the story, your life can change. If you'll change the way you feel about it, you'll find things you wouldn't have found before. Because when your state changes, you seek for things that you wouldn't have sought before. And when your state changes, you'll knock on doors that you wouldn't have knocked on before. And when your state changes, you'll seek things that you wouldn't have sought before. And the Bible says if you ask, you'll receive. And if you'll knock, it'll be opened. And if you seek, you shall find. You're not seeking because you're not in the state of seeking. You're anticipating nothing, and so you seek for nothing.
Wow.
But if you'll change your beliefs, if you'll change your state and come into this challenge with all the energy you can muster and all the anticipation you can muster, your life can be forever changed. If you believe it, say, let's go.
Let's go. Amen. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Listen, we could do this all night. Literally, you could see how this could go on all night long. So we look forward to being with you guys in the challenge. That's so good. Joe, I just want to get people excited because what Tony told us about that first you change your state, then you change your story, and then you change the strategy. We realize that is how we teach people to become dynamic powerhouse speakers. Yeah. So one of the things you're going to learn inside the challenge is actually, watch this, how to change the crowd state, how to change the audience's state. And when you change the audience's state, get ready. They are going to be open to rewriting their whole story. You will drop then a strategy that will alter their lives forever. Why? Because you have the power to understand how to change mass movements and their state. You can change mass audiences like in an instant when you learn how to do what we're going to teach you in the challenge. So powerful because Joe, we have talk transformational events is what we're going to teach you. This is not going to be like a boring seminar. No, your virtual event is a mechanism to change lives. And Joe and I feel called like release people into the changing their, like start a movement, start your movement and use the virtual event to do it, but let it be transformational. Don't let it just be an event.
Eileen, anyone who's seen you speak knows it's going to be transformational and knows it's not going to be boring because you always bring the heat, girl.
You too, Joe. You too.
Awesome.
We had so much fun tonight. Guys, if you haven't registered for General, go to acceleratemyrevenue.com. If you want to join us, that's acceleratemyrevenue.com/VIP. Joe?
I think you broke up there a second. I don't know if it was my side, but acceleratemyrevenue.com/VIP or /VIP, right? Or go to acceleratemyrevenue.com, opt in again, and the next page will be VIP. Whatever it is, get in the room, change your state, change your story, change your strategy, and your life can be forever changed. We want you to be experiencing this next. We will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. VIPs Eastern Time. See you there.
Bye, guys.
Bye.